sponsored by Sport Bible, in partnership with Chant, delve into the process and the pressure of creating a chant that defined a nation. England is the birthplace of football, but it isn't its spiritual home. England is the father, but Brazil is the beautiful game's mother, nurturing it, allowing it to flourish, making it a joy to behold. Football went home in 2014. Back to where it truly belonged. More than 60 years had passed since World Cup fever had swept from the south in Porto Alegre all the way up to the northern tip of Manaus. The last time Brazil hosted a World Cup, the worst had happened. The Maracanazo, the disastrous final defeat against unfancied Uruguay in 1950, had sent a nation into a spin. So confident were Brazil of easily dispatching their opponents that some of their star players had been signing their names followed by "champions of the world" when asked for autographs. Before the game, the reported 200,000 crowd let off fireworks and confetti. They wanted to get the party started nice and early. Brazil lost. Riding a wave of confidence bordering on arrogance, a rugged Uruguay scrapped their way to a 2-1 win. The crowd went silent while Uruguay players wept on the pitch. This was the greatest Brazil side of all time. They were destined to earn their place in history as champions. Never before had a defeat inflicted such a heavy blow on a nation's psyche. Entire books have been dedicated to the aftermath, about how fans knocked over a bust of Angelo Mendes de Moraes, the mayor of Rio, who was reviled due to his premature congratulations. One fan is even said to have taken his own life. Brazil would never wear the white strip they wore in that game again, it was cursed. Afterwards, it was decided they'd adopt a yellow and blue kit to match their national flag. Every cloud, their luck would turn eventually. A 17-year-old named Pelé would guide them to the glory that evaded their grasp 8 years later. He would do so again 2 more times before he walked off into the sunset. The original Samba King departed, but many walked the trail he blazed: Zico, Socrates, Jairzinho, Romario, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho and now Neymar, to name just a few. All blessed with individual genius and the ability to light up a game. Brazil's history is perhaps the most storied in football. Strange, then, that for football's homecoming summer the talk of the town were a group of Americans. And one chant in particular. It's a simple concept, a call and answer from the leader and his crowd. Each word is bellowed and shouted back even louder afterwards. It starts slowly: "I believe that." Then a cacophony of noise and drums erupt as the full rhythmic battle cry is unfurled to bring the crowd together. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Simple but to the point. Not many in the world of football had heard the chant before the 2014 World Cup got underway. Dan Wiersma was in Brazil with the American Outlaws, a supporters organization following the fortunes of United States national team that have been credited with popularizing the chant. He says, "It had never happened before, and for whatever anyone thinks about the chant now, that's an incredible accomplishment for soccer in this country. Something that anyone, at any time, could start and everyone could sing. That's something pretty incredible that folks don't fully appreciate." ESPN used the Outlaws in their promotional campaign for the World Cup, then later run a second video featuring the chant alongside the likes of Ice Cube and Kevin Costner. Both went viral, racking up millions of views online. Tim Howard, the U.S. goalkeeper, tweeted the lyrics of the chant before his team's last 16 showdown against a heavily fancied Belgium, garnering 60,000 retweets. "Its brilliance was in its simplicity," explains Dan. "It's not the most amazing chant, but it was the nation's chant for a moment, and it reflected an optimism in U.S. soccer that we're lacking a lot right now." From there every youth team in the country used, and folks got tired of it, but it sure was fun while it lasted. The rise of "I believe that we will win" was organic. It was dreamed up and first used in Navy College for an American football game, but soon bled over into MLS. Our co-founder Justin Brunken first heard it at a Sporting KC before adopting it for his group, which he established in 2006 after the World Cup that year alongside friend Corey Donahue. Fans from other teams in MLS also adopted the chant and bought it to our meetups, thus helping it to spread more easily throughout stadiums. Through qualifying in 2013 it started to carry from game to game and it just went from there, Dan says. It was short, repetitive, and catchy. Those work best. Not everyone bought into the arrival of the U.S. team on the global football stage. Some laughed off the chant as too simplistic, or dismissed the Americans as unworthy because of the country's somewhat indifferent attitude to soccer through the years. Dan explains, "I don't think people understand how much needs to happen for a chant to work its way from game to game but then to also smash into popular culture as a whole. The US would be eliminated by Belgium in 2014, but the seeds were sown that summer for a thriving fan base to flourish." The popularity of the chant led to renewed interest in following American soccer, unlike anything the country had seen before. The group fused European fan culture with South American drumming and US-style socializing. "We've always tried to create community for all of the sporting outcasts or outlaws, hence the name, that we're looking for like-minded fans. We host night before gatherings and day of tailgates for every single men's and women's national matches. OU now has 30,000 members across 196 official chapters in 50 states. They occupy 20 MLS stadiums and even have international chapters, where fans come together to watch games and debate the fortunes of their team around the world." Dan looks back fondly on that summer, on what was the high-water mark for U.S. football in so many years. "I traveled to Brazil for 2014 and it was great. I attended every home WC qualifier in the run-up to the World Cup. Again, I look back on the cautious optimism that we all had leading up and through that World Cup. We won our qualifying group, beat Mexico 2-0 like we used to and fought with that American can-do spirit all the way through. The thing I just keep on coming back to is the friends we all made through American Outlaws and the incredible community spirit that American soccer has around it. It hasn't been plain sailing since then, sadly. The U.S. won't be at the 2018 World Cup in Russia after a disastrous qualifying campaign. A 2-1 defeat against Manos Trinidad and Tobago meant they had failed to qualify for a World Cup for the first time since 1986. The Outlaws' support hasn't wavered, as public interest in the group has grown. "We feel the pressure now to create atmosphere at games because we want the team to know that we are there to support them," says Dan. "That's our sole motivate. Whatever we can do to give them the edge is crucial. Because we are such an open organization, anyone can join in our sections, member or not. We have a very wide range of fans that stand with us. Some want to chant, sing and others do not. We need to strive to always lead with the loudest voice possible. Russia won't be the same as Brazil. It will have its own cultural moments that bubble up and evolve from not much to something. It will have its own highs and lows. The U.S. won't be there, but they will always have that summer. That glorious sun-drenched month where, in the home of football amid the color and smoke and noise, they were truly accepted by the beautiful game. And it all started with 6 simple words and a catchy chant. All together now, words, Wilson CRANFIELDPHOTOGRAPHY, Jake Luz.